Not every gift is a blessing. Sometimes, what makes you smile at first is what will leave your soul bleeding later. Life teaches us to be polite, to show gratitude, to receive gifts with both hands. But the spiritual world doesn't work like that. There, every gift is an invitation, either to the light or to the shadows. Today, I need you to open your eyes. Some gifts don't come to lift you up, they come to pull you down. They're not presents, they're traps wrapped in velvet. The enemy doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes he slips in quietly, through a birthday greeting, a pair of earrings, or an innocent-looking coat. Did you know? In the spirit realm, to receive is to agree. When you accept something, you're not just taking an object, you're aligning yourself with the spirit behind it. Some items are not given out of love, but from hands that serve dark altars. And you, unknowingly, say, thank you, to a curse. Not everything beautiful is blessed by heaven. Some things are blessed with blood, curses, and rituals you've never even heard of. Rings, necklaces, robes can carry spiritual poison. In the Bible, Paul's handkerchiefs carried God's healing power. If holy power can transfer through cloth, then unholy power can too. Have you ever wondered why strange dreams began after you wore a new piece of jewelry? Why your mind grew restless, your spirit uneasy, after receiving a seemingly harmless gift? Sometimes the answer doesn't lie in you, but in what you're keeping close to your heart. And it's not just jewelry. Some fragrances aren't just perfume. There are oils that weren't made in a factory. They were crafted in rituals. Chanted over, assigned spiritual missions. You think you feel more attractive or confident, but in truth, you're drawing something that doesn't belong in the natural world, and it's watching you from the dark. I've seen homes decorated with ancestral masks as souvenirs, strange statues displayed as art, but in God's eyes, those are foreign altars, and you're praying for peace, while the very fire you're trying to extinguish is burning on your shelf. Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 26 says it plainly. Do not bring a detestable thing into your house, or you, like it, will be set apart for destruction. Regard it as vile and utterly detest it, for it is set apart for ruin. Maybe you're fighting in prayer, but you're also protecting the very thing that's fighting you. You have to choose. You can't keep both light and darkness under the same roof. The enemy doesn't need an invitation, he just needs access. And many have unknowingly opened the door through a simple gift. If your spirit feels uneasy, pause, examine. You may not be bound by a curse, but by something you once accepted with love. There are nights when it's not insomnia that keeps you awake. It's your spirit that refuses to settle. It's not overthinking. It's not anxiety. It's the Spirit of God gently knocking on the door of your soul. He doesn't shout, and he doesn't push, he whispers. He doesn't cause panic, he gives signs. But if you keep brushing off that whisper, you might be clinging to something heaven already told you to let go. Be cautious of peace-offering gifts, especially from those who once betrayed you, envied you, or openly opposed you. Reconciliation doesn't always come from the light. In the realm of witchcraft, forgiveness can be a tactic. Sweet apologies can cloak dark intentions. Sometimes, what looks like peace is actually a new tactic for control. Not every gift is a blessing. Some are designed to reattach dark threads. Proverbs chapter 26 says, though their words are charming, do not believe them, for 7 abominations fill their heart. Forgiveness does not equal foolishness. Forgiveness does not mean reopening your door to someone who once brought darkness into your life. A gift from a wrong heart isn't generosity, it's a spiritual bribe. It's a way to gain access again. Sometimes it's a book on a shelf, a piece of art from a distant land, or a souvenir that looks innocent. But don't be deceived. Some items are more than physical, they are portals. They carry echoes of foreign altars, of spirits not submitted to the one true God. Ask yourself, what are you keeping in your home that doesn't belong in the light? Some of you need to return home and do a spiritual inventory, not just with your eyes, but with prayer. Open drawers, scan your shelves, touch your jewelry, examine old gifts, and ask, Lord, does this honor you, or is this secretly working against my peace? Don't just clean your house, clean your spiritual atmosphere. You may be cohabiting with objects tied to foreign rituals, thinking they're just art. You may be wearing a necklace that was once offered at a pagan altar. Don't take it lightly. It's time to purify more than your space. It's time to consecrate it. Because the enemy doesn't need your cooperation, just your ignorance. But the Spirit of God is the Spirit of truth. He doesn't expose to entertain. He exposes to liberate. And when truth comes to light, the power of deception begins to tremble. It's time to cleanse, not just your home, but your heart. I once asked the Lord, not with words, but with quiet tears, Lord, have I held on to this out of love, nostalgia, or out of fear? Is it pride that keeps me from letting go? Or is part of me still mourning the past? Many don't throw away cursed objects because they fear hurting the giver. But let me ask you, who are you more afraid to offend? A person or the Holy One? Would you rather keep false peace with people or have true peace from heaven? I've seen souls bound, not by demons roaring in the night, but by a scarf, a piece of jewelry, or an old love letter, lying silent in a drawer, still whispering curses into the atmosphere. You think you kept it for memories, but God sees you've kept an entry point for darkness. Saul didn't lose his kingdom because he refused to fight. He lost everything because he wasn't ruthless enough. He spared what God said to destroy. And that was the beginning of his fall. God cannot bless what He's commanded you to break. Don't just pray for deliverance, clean house. Sometimes you don't need another prophecy. You just need to purge that dark cabinet in your home. The photo you kept even though they betrayed you. That bracelet, blessed by a psychic. The shirt you wore during your rebellion. Don't donate it. Don't pass it on. Destroy it. Because you're not just breaking a thing. You're closing a spiritual doorway. The Israelites didn't resell items under a curse. They burned them before the Lord, and only when the fire consumed them did the favor of heaven return. You're not paranoid when you feel something off in your space. That's spiritual wisdom. Scripture says, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the price. You've suffered long enough, delays, unrest, heavy dreams, closed doors, and you think God is silent, but He's waiting for you to make room for His presence. Remember Achan? One man kept a forbidden item, and the entire nation lost the battle. One hidden sin caused widespread defeat. Only when the object was exposed and destroyed did victory return. Don't believe a small item can't affect your life. Don't underestimate the inanimate. The enemy doesn't always come banging at your door. Sometimes he slips in wrapped in memory, cloaked in your softness. I've walked into homes where darkness hovered, only to find it traced back to a cursed statue, a ritual coin, a seemingly innocent gift, created to chain a soul. The enemy hides in what we call culture, in what we call manners, but his mission never changes: to steal, kill, and destroy. Especially beware of gifts with hidden strings. Money isn't always neutral. Some money comes to control you, bind you, manipulate your peace. It's not generosity. It's spiritual witchcraft in disguise. It's not a blessing. It's a leash. That ex who gave you jewelry, you kept it because it's pretty. That friend who betrayed you, but you still wear the scarf they gave you. That admirer who gave you a watch, though nothing happened, you kept it. But now, you've unknowingly let their spirit linger through the object. The soul tie wasn't just emotional. It became spiritual the moment you held onto what they used to mark you. So be honest. Is there something you haven't thrown out, even though deep down you know it doesn't belong? It's time to light the fire, not to warm old memories, but to burn the chains. There are small objects in your home you think are just gifts, but they might be the period at the end of a sentence you were never meant to finish. I've met men who couldn't step into their calling as fathers, husbands, warriors of God, simply because they were still wearing a watch given by a woman who smiled like love but carried the spirit of Jezebel. I've seen women praying for a sacred love while still wearing a necklace from the man God told them to leave many seasons ago. It's not because they're foolish. It's because they don't understand. Every gift carries a mark. Some marks come from heaven. Some open doors straight to hell. Some gifts are invisible chains. You don't see them, but they pull you backward. You try to move forward, but something always drags you down. That something is real. It's a soul tie, a silent whisper, a watching eye from an unseen world. You thought it was just a greeting card, but it was actually permission for a spirit to enter your life. You called it a keepsake, but it was a landing place for a curse. The enemy doesn't need to knock if you've already opened the door through a gift you should never have accepted. When you receive an object, you don't just receive the material. You receive the spirit of the giver. You receive their intent, their unspoken words, Even their smiling bitterness wrapped in shiny ribbon. Why did the Magi bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the baby Jesus? Because they understood. Gifts are more than celebration, they are spiritual transactions. They seal moments. They open or close doors that echo into eternity. That's why you must be most alert when your life is shifting. When you're getting married, having a child, launching a business, buying a home, that's when the enemy likes to come disguised as a friend. They show up with hugs, but their hearts are laced with envy. They bring gifts, but their souls bleed poison. Not every wedding gift is a blessing. Not every baby gift is pure. Some people don't come to celebrate you, they come to sabotage you. With a smile and a box. Learn to discern. Pray over every gift. Don't just look at the giver. Look at the altar they stand on. Because what flows through them will flow through what they give. The right gift, from the right spirit, at the right time can unlock heaven. But the wrong gift, from the wrong heart, in a sacred moment, could be the very thing that derails your destiny. So before you keep something because it's beautiful or it has meaning, ask the Lord. Meaning to who? Do not live under the false assumption that every gesture is a genuine one. Life is not a series of well-intended presents wrapped in smiles. The truth is far deeper, far darker. In this world, wisdom must be as sharp as a serpent's fang, but kindness should remain as pure as a dove's feather. It is not enough to be kind if it leads you astray. Loving blindly is a danger, not a virtue. When someone offers you something, pause, pray over it. Do not accept gifts without first laying them before God's presence. The value of an object is not in its material worth, but in the spirit that clings to it. A simple trinket might carry chains, while a grand gift could bear the weight of spiritual darkness. I will not hold onto something just because it is given with a smile. If the Spirit whispers, let it go, then I release it, no matter how precious it appears. Beware. There are moments in life when the enemy's hand is veiled under a cloak of blessings. A gift, wrapped in charm and delivered at the right moment, may not be what it seems. It could be a distraction carefully crafted to shift your focus away from God. The sudden invitation, the unexpected opportunity, or the new relationship that seems so timely, it may be nothing but an illusion to pull you back into the world. The enemy is not foolish. He knows that even the most innocent-seeming thing can become a snare. You must recognize the difference between what is meant to uplift your spirit and what is meant to drag you down. The timing of these gifts is never by chance. There's no such thing as coincidence in the spiritual realm. When an opportunity arises just as you were preparing for a time of fasting. When a new connection comes right before you were about to deepen your prayer life. It's not a gift, it's a trap. It may look like favor, but it's nothing more than spiritual sabotage wrapped in opportunity. Your intuition is your lifeline. If something feels off, trust that feeling. Spiritual maturity is not measured by how often you quote scripture, but by how promptly you respond to God's whispers. It's in the small moments of spiritual alertness that your foundation is solidified. It's the moments when you feel uneasy about something that seems harmless or when your peace is disturbed by an object or a person. These are not random sensations, they are spiritual signals. Pay attention. The truth is, some people, unknowingly, are tools used by forces beyond their understanding. They carry gifts that were never intended for you. Gifts birthed in darkness. They don't see it, but they are the messengers of a curse, bringing spiritual contamination under the guise of kindness. It doesn't matter how much they love you or how much they care for you. If they are delivering something that has its origin in evil, you must not accept it. This is why you must sanctify your life, your home, your heart. Not all gifts are blessings, and not all givers are sent from the light. There are things you must return, things you must break, things you must burn in the fire of spiritual discernment. Some gifts carry shadows, and those shadows are a doorway the enemy seeks to enter through. You are not called to tolerate everything placed before you, no matter how much it sparkles. When the Spirit warns you, heed it. Don't let politeness or pride keep you from the truth. If something doesn't sit right, if your soul stirs in unrest, it's time to take action. Go through your life, examine every gift, and ask God, is this from you, or is this from the enemy? Break any agreements made through these offerings. Declare that no curse shall take root. Place your hands upon the object and speak out. In the name of Jesus, every spirit attached to this is cast out. No evil shall enter here. Your home, your mind, and your heart must remain untouched by the enemy's influence. God's kingdom reigns here, and nothing less than that shall enter. Stand firm in your discernment, for it is your greatest weapon in this age. And if the whispers of the divine stir your soul, urging you to cast it aside, do not hesitate. In your obedience lies your sanctuary. Today, I speak over your life that every hidden snare is being revealed. Every shadowy trap laid in the dark is being torn asunder. Every work of darkness aimed at you is being nullified. Your dwelling shall be a sanctuary of peace, strength, purity, and presence. The forces of the enemy are retreating, undone by the power of your steps. You are stepping into a realm of spiritual clarity, moving with divine wisdom and insight. The veils that once hid deception are being torn, and you shall not be led astray by falsehoods or gifts meant to bind you. You are sheltered, guarded by the hand of the Almighty. Victory is yours, not through what you accept, but through the courage to reject that which does not align with your higher calling. This is not superstition. This is not a fleeting fear. This is a battle fought in the unseen realms. The enemy will cloak curses in the garb of blessings, but the wise walk with the eyes of discernment, seeing beyond the surface, discerning what the world cannot. You are not called to naivety. You are chosen to be covered in glory. Rise now, cleanse your surroundings, make your home a fortress of holiness. Above all, never again receive any gift without first seeking the guidance of the Spirit. For in this season, what you accept into your hands holds the power to either elevate or entangle your soul. Let every gift pass through the filter of prayer, through the fire of discernment, and beneath the covering of divine grace. Only that which is sanctified is worthy to remain. May your vision be sharpened, your home purified, and your future shielded as you walk in the wisdom and protection of the Most High.